Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Winter Europe Edition. I'm Nathanius, joined by In Control as we get to the final set of games for the European Round Robin. How have you been enjoying it? Are you a fan of Robins? Do you have a other favorite type of bird, In Control?
You know that Ravi asked me this yesterday, right?
Did he? All right, I'm sorry. Do you want to just do the hosting segment for this then?
No, you got to
walk away. Okay.
You're doing great.
I appreciate you allowing me to be here. Well, anyway, let's pretend that didn't happen. We do have, of course, as we said, more games coming up. Good TVP series that we just had. Here are the standings so far for our European round of 8. Everyone's been playing each other. And Reynor dominating 6-0 Showtime and Rail. I think we were just talking about this in the back. Those players are not going to be able to recover their position and should be out.
Yeah, according to Team Liquid, Showtime and Rail are out, so now they're just fighting for position, which is good news for everybody else. That means they get to play on April 6th to decide the final standings. So even if you take 6th in this, yeah, you got more work ahead of you than someone that's seeded right into the finals, but you can win.
Yeah, I'll try again. Do you have a favorite sidekick other than Robin?
Ooh, favorite sidekick? Violator and Spawn, probably.
Okay.
People would say he's not a sidekick, but I tell you he is.
I don't know anything about that, so I will just trust you on it. Okay, we have a lobby, and looks like we're going to be jumping into, we've got Heromarine versus Reynor over here in control. Is Reynor going to go 7-0 in his group?
You know, I wish we almost... So he's 6-0. There's no one that's 5-1. So I think even if he loses this, he's actually still first place, right?
I guess.
I think that would be true. So it has no impact on him.
Not me. So
I crunch him pretty live. Producer said that's true. So for Heromarine, this is much more important. I don't think that changes much for me, though. I still think a player like Reynor, it's like he's already shown his ZvT, so it's not like you're hiding something.
Yeah. Well,
he has some amazing strategy. He's probably already shown it. So I think he just plays anyways and likes the idea. I mean, going 7-0 is pretty sick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, he's a young whippersnapper. Being able to say he dunked on everybody in this group would be pretty sick. The game is going to start. We'll kick it off on year 0. But that'll be nice for him, seeded directly into the grand finals of WCS Winter.
I mean, that's the best part, too. He already is. So
he's there.
Going into this match, he's like, sure, I'll try to take on this Heromarine nerd. And like you said, just go 7-0 and look good. But it has no impact. He already did. He's in the finals. Congrats.
That's maybe the funniest thing. Fear Dragon was talking about how like there's the motivation in every round because of like, well, yeah, there's a money difference between 7th and 8th place. And then it's like, oh, yeah, well, what happens if you clinch first place? The series is, maybe Reynor will do some meme builds. Who knows? As we load it in to our last series we get going here in WCS Winter Europe Edition. In the top right, we have the red Terran player. If you've seen that horrific image on Twitter, or you haven't, go check it out. He's Big Gabe, Heromarine.
Name's referring to a tweet from Muslim.
Yes, very big Gabe. Very, very big.
He's playing well. Able to beat Serral. Can he do it here as well? In the top left-hand side, it's the Italian stallion, Reynor. Gamer's Origin. Doing good, man. That ZvZ against Serral. Look good.
Dude, really cool. That's the highlight. That's like of all the things that I think about when I think about this WCS Winter, there's not a ton of crazy memorable series that jump to my mind. That one will be one of them. That one will be one. He's already got a Reddit thread. Someone asked if he broke ZvZ. I don't think we can jump to that conclusion yet.
It's very hard to do what he did, by the way. He was down 40 or 50 supply a few times, and Roaches against Lings is very, very tough. Obviously, the Lurkers are an amazing X factor, but I would even say the late game, the underrated move there was going for the Infestors, but also always countering the positioning of the Nidus. He just fantastic player, and he's playing different. He's experimenting with styles. It's pretty cool.
Yep. It's awesome to see the young players innovating and breaking out new strategies. Like I was saying, you know, I think my favorite version of ZvZ was what Serral played in the global finals last year. Those were some of the best games of StarCraft I've ever seen. And I like seeing the little sparks of that again here in WCS Winter. makes me excited for like a potential rivalry with those guys, because Reynor now is going to become that nemesis to everybody because he is just improving so fast. And you know, we had a little bit of the story shakeup, right, between like WESG and IEM with Cyril and some question marks here and there. And now in WCS, it's not Cyril that we're talking about as being the unstoppable force. It's Reynor, who's just been on the ball, crushing it.
So far, to be fair. I don't disagree with anything you said. You're right. But Cyril will be in that top 6. And, I mean, if he just wins again, then the sins of this weekend can be forgotten, right?
That's true.
Things will return to normalcy.
He's just he's gonna have a little bit of a more difficult path to take than Reynor, who will await whichever poor fool goes against him in the finals. Not that you'd be a poor fool to finish in second place if he beat you, but
right.
Yeah.
All right. Ling opening here from Mr. Reynor, going to the third base. Flip side, Gabriel Sagat doing everything a Terran should be doing at this stage. Just a Reaper paired with some aliens.
Checks the third. Not bad.
Gonna be some Banshee. How do you like Banshee playing this map?
I'm indifferent. We've seen a good amount of the Banshee play out of Heromarine. It has not felt crazy inspiring in the other series that we saw him go for it in yesterday. Is he doing this thing again? We had this conversation. It's the fast tank. He's like worried about a push, or is he going to do that really odd like 1 to 2 tank 10 Marine attack versus Zerg? Which is I don't see it. I don't know if this is what he did against Cyril because I didn't get to see that match.
Yeah.
But he did a build like this on Kairos Junction yesterday, and he got dunked on. It was brutal. His stim was crazy late, along with his upgrades, and I don't know.
Well, these guys are done.
He's not getting Roach Holland, so he doesn't need to be rushing a tank and extra Marines without upgrades. Just a little confusing. I was confused by this build yesterday, and I'm confused by it again today. Like, the Banshees are okay. You get a little bit of the map control. For the most part, Zergs aren't really worried about Banshees. I don't think, unless you do, like, the double starport innovation build, it's not really considered a substantial threat. Third command center is going to start, which is fine. The evolution chambers are going to boot up, though, and I doubt we'll see eBays for a bit, so Reynor should enjoy a healthy upgrade lead this game. And other than that, you just got to chill, be on his toes, and just push those Banshees back. Easy peasy.
I do like it for a check back, though. And the Banshees of Heromarine, like you said in the last game, or maybe I'm thinking of a different game, but it did not do any good harass damage, but they stayed around for a very long time.
Yeah. He did like this exact same opening yesterday on that map, and he like did this like very, very weak push out that got destroyed. I think it was against Lambo.
It's just the one tank though, right? Or is it 2 this time? It is 2. So you're exactly right. It's the exact same thing as yesterday.
Like, he can keep it at home and just try to play crazy greedy behind it, but okay.
Double
it's
factory.
A change-up. Heromarine mostly stuck to bio in the games that we got to see him play yesterday. So, we had the American players doing more of the mech builds from Masa. Let's see how Heromarine does it. Now I don't mind it, because opening up with a couple of safety tanks is like, yes, I'm going to be able to get to my factories without dying to an early push, so.
Makes more sense.
Yep. And fast armor upgrade. Because he has, he got the armory pretty quick. Didn't seem to want to do like a Hellbat push, which I actually don't think it would be too bad. I didn't see any Banelings on the field, and he has the Banshees to support Hellbats if he really wanted to.
No lair yet, right? Am I missing something? A lot of Lings coming out. He's got the Baneling Nest. Roachborn about to finish. Is this just like a Roach Ling
He's
route?
got the lair. He just hasn't done anything with it.
Oh, you're right.
And he has a Baneling Nest. He just doesn't have any Banelings. He only has 40 Lings on the map right now, just getting those upgrades.
He loves his Lings. He's very good with them.
Yeah. And it's really weird, because you need to be kind of on the ball against this. It's like when you're playing mech and you're building a bunch of Hellions. If the Zerg gets the upgrade lead, and then suddenly your Hellions have to take like 4 hits, because Blue Flame is very far away in this game. Those Ling numbers, we have 20 more being added.
Yeah.
If they get one good jump on your Hellions, then you lose all your ability to step out on the map. And that number of Lings is still going to be a problem until you have Blue Flame and attack upgrades.
Well, there's Blue Flame queued up.
There we go. And Mag Field Accelerator. So that's where the Banshees get a little bit more value, right? As the Zerg kind of spreads themselves out just a little bit.
Queen. Oh. Her friends came along.
Ouch.
Pushed the Banshees out of here.
That's unfortunate. Losing the one there. We do have some Ravagers being added. Baneling speed is almost done with Roach speed as well. And I wonder if there's an idea for an attack here. 20 more Zerglings are being added. So Reynor is really cranking it up. It's going to be up to almost 80 Lings in a moment, getting his infestation pit now.
I feel like this is the I'm countering battle mech. It's like when you move out with those 7 or 8 Cyclones and however many Hellions, I'm going to kill it and then kill you.
Yeah.
And if they don't move out,
you're really trying to jump those Hellions, not going to be able to get it.
Because there's even 20. Nate, what if I told you there's 24 more Lings coming?
I would say you're crazy. You're a madman, Jeff.
I'm just commentating, a madman. A mad boy, even.
Yeah. No, you make a really good point, though. The battle mech style relies around the mobility, kind of dancing around. And with this many Zerglings, he may not care. He's like, yeah, as long as I get this right on the first army and you don't get to, like, poke at me and do this lock-on shenanigans, I'm good. I'm happy with that. Now that
he's just in the middle map, spread out, too. So,
yeah.
But the funny thing here, Heromarine kind of sensed that, or at least he just knows Reynor's style. But he's seen the Lings sharking around with the Banshees and stuff, so he's just like, wait a second, if I move out there, I just die. So I guess I stick back. But what's so strong about Reynor's style is there's the Spire, which will surely get made into a greater Spire.
Yep.
So if you sit back for too long, my man, you're going to have some Broodlords on your face.
Yep. Now, Heromarine already getting 2 additional starports and a fusion core to prepare for his transition. And I do wonder if we're going to see, I would guess, ranged Liberators with the support of the Cyclone Hellion. But I don't hate seeing Thors mixed into these compositions either. They're not like stunning versus the Roach Ling part, but Thors, if they need to, like they'll two-shot the Ravagers. They do the same to Hydralisks, although we don't have any Hydras in this game. But they're also just devastatingly good against Broodlords. Like Thors are, now that they outrange Broodlords, it's a pretty fun side of the fight to be on for Terran these days. Ooh, that's a great choke point to get into. Ouch.
I mean, it's just Lings, but still. But still, 56
It's
more.
a lot of Lings. 56 more Lings coming out. And advanced ballistics being researched. I like it. That greater Spire that you talked about in control. It's coming. Look at these Banshees.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. They stick around, right?
Redux.
Yeah, we just missed it, but I think that's all the Hellions did.
Yeah. One thing I gotta say, I didn't really expect this out of Heromarine, but he's actually playing very well for the turtling part of this comp, which usually the higher skill level you go, the less of that you see. But you kind of pointed it out that he kind of got a read that this was going to be that extremely aggressive on the map style. He immediately rebuilt like 60 Zerglings after that previous fight.
It's a trap. Akbar, tell him.
And Heromarine has been very patient about his move outs because of that, even though this is not an army composition that's really meant to defend.
Yeah.
Like, we have that Greater Spire now, right? And there were still, I don't think there's still any Corruptors on the field. There aren't. So Broodlords aren't actually coming yet. It's more like an insurance policy for Reynor that he's like, if I want to, I can do this. But I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to end with Ling, Ravager, Baneling. Not quite getting there.
And the only way that this really works is if Heromarine steps on the creep with this army and tries to attack. Because otherwise, he can kind of kite against the Banes, and he's got the Liberators to retreat to. But I don't see an attack working here for Reynor in like a super aggressive capacity without a huge slip up by Heromarine first.
Yeah, and he's waffling around a lot in the middle of the map while bottom right is being taken. So if that ends up getting secured for Heromarine, I start to like his chances quite a bit more. As it is, it's just a Baneling bust away from dying, but I He doesn't even know it exists.
Yep. And trying to get the flank with these Banelings, but Heromarine pulls back off of the creep pretty quickly. This whole army is going to engage. Most of the Cyclones still okay in the back. Might need to lift the command center. I mean, goodness. Can we get Artosis from 2012 in here to say... So many Banelings! Oh my goodness. Well,
I think a mistake on that orbital.
That's a lot of Banelings that are gonna die here. I think.
Well, they always die, my man.
Finally connect there. Well, I just without doing what they wanted to do, perhaps I should say. And then this ranged Liberator is liberating that mineral line very effectively.
Look at Heromarine actually up in supply.
Yeah. No, that last fight was, I would say, very good for him. He's ahead, about 5,000 resources lost. Now, it's mostly Lings and Banelings being added again, but there are some Corruptors finally coming out. So do expect to see some Brood Lords in the near future. Although, now that I say that, I also wouldn't be surprised if Reynor was just getting Corruptors to deal with Liberators.
Yeah, I think so.
Which are, by the way, doing a lot of damage. We got 17 drones that have died recently, and a couple more are going to go down. So you got one sieged up in the main.
20 have died. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And now, Mr. Heromarine says, well, hang on. That was kind of your big wad, wasn't it? So I'm going to be able to move out on the map. And these Liberators don't have much in the way of anything to threaten them, because Corruptors are not a great answer here.
No.
Not with a bunch of Cyclones below.
Cyclones demolish Corruptors. That lock-on does ridiculous damage to armored units. The most important thing is just, you see, Heromarines really been scanning a lot. As long as that creep goes away, it's so difficult for Reynor to try and get the jump on him with this, like, this Ravager Baneling setup. Just look how slow these units are moving. Like, you really need that creep spread to get the engagement that you're dreaming of. Walks the army through the west side. All of those Liberators able to get great shots off. Might need to unsiege him and bring him home before the Corruptors show up, but it's a ton of Hellions and Cyclones that are going to get to fight off creep now against Ling Bane.
Yeah, the only thing that army was missing was Hellions, and now it is there. The other part about creep spread that you were just talking about is retreating's harder. So these Hellions getting some nice retreat damage in as well. Supplies are getting a little bit closer to okay, and more Corruptors still coming out, so I do think we will see that Broodlord phase. And as nice as this has been, ooh, it's Vikings. Nate, it's Vikings. And I know how much you love Vikings against Broodlords.
Just build more Liberators and get a Dorito cannon. It's way better. He's killing his own units to free supply. I can dig it.
Right. Just very sacrilegious.
We don't want
now
your opponent to know that you're clearing supply, right? So
Corruptors can't do anything here too.
Nope.
Cyclone's too fast.
With Cyclones on the map, the Corruptor Harass is not going to happen. Maybe some diversion was created first, but it is not there yet. And we talked about the Corruptor count, but he has not actually turned any into Broodlords. We just have 12 Corruptors chilling. The rest of the army is 38 Banelings, 40 plus Lings.
Yeah, I guess by the looks of it, he's just going to use them to clean up the Liberators and just kind of remain on this Ling Ravager composition for right now.
Yep, 17 more Banelings and adding 30 more Lings. So big sized army, but not big on the tech, which does feel surprising.
No, they did. For tanks now, he's going back to tanks.
I guess as long as he's not losing his bases, he doesn't really feel pressure to change things up. That planetary does get knocked down, but he's got a good amount of command centers on the map. He can just move over there if he really wants to take it back. I'd almost prefer not to get a planetary sometimes, just because you want to be able to lift it, since your opponent does have a ridiculous amount of Banelings.
Kind of a funny situation to be in, though, right? Because the planetary is also very good. It means that significant forces to come over there to deal with it, but like you said, it'll just die. Now,
it's got 46 Banes on the map right now.
If Heromarine is able to get that base up or another one like it, oh, we're having a big Ling run by the top of the map as well, but the fight here is good.
Yeah, the Liberators up top are able to deal with a lot of the Lings, but they're going to get the SCVs. There were plenty of Zerglings to guarantee that as the rest of this push comes down. Now, did bring some of the tanks, so some of these flanks are exposed again, getting into the natural with those Zerglings. And the siege tanks here for Heromarine are really big. If he can get some focus fired shots onto those Banelings, it can clear the way for his Cyclone Hellion to continue to get damage done as more Liberators are going to show up.
I really like that he added tanks to this.
Yeah. It does add a whole new element to the microform. Like those tanks, they're not good if they're just allowed to shoot at random stuff. You do want to get the Banes, and they are. Big shots on the Banelings. There's still so many of them, though.
Getting over towards those Cyclones. All the Liberators are cleaned up, and now Army supply is still in favor of Heromarine, actually. Excuse me, this is the kind of new world of Mech. Lings getting on top of the Cyclones. They don't have a lot in the way of health, so they have to be a little bit careful there. And that is... Actually, I think that's another planetary over there. And now the tank's swinging over. He's steamrolling, man.
Yeah, not banking much, but he's spending his resources extremely efficiently. Now we finally see it in control. 6 Broodlords, 3 Infestors, trying to turn the tide of a battle that Reynor is losing. Heromarine has been a rock this game.
This composition will show up at an awkward time. There is no Vikings of significant count. It's 6 Liberators at a time coming out, so certainly there will be Vikings, but the Liberators are a bad answer, obviously. There are no Thors, and there's not a huge number of Cyclones either. So this reveal is going to be very powerful, and I think Reynor's got to get a lot done behind that. So he is expanding, but he's got to kill a base or two and really push back Heromarine for this game to stabilize, I think.
Yep. Planetary Fortress pushes those Lings away, and there's not a whole lot of opportunity there. Look at that. Thors are coming out now as well, so Heromarine knows what he needs to deal with those pesky units. Would like to see transformation servos, since the Banelings may not be as much of a factor. Get a little bit more of the utility out of those Hellions with the transform. And, ooh, big drone barbecue potential over here. Getting the workers escaping this base, not bad at all.
No, not too shabby, but it's all going to die. So... does he get the hatch? I think so with the tanks, question mark. It's going to be close. Oh my god. Yes, okay, one final shot. And then even on the southern part of the map. Now, the tanks are mostly useless at this stage when the Broodlords show up, so it's kind of okay for them to get traded out. How do you feel about how they're being traded out, though? I kind of feel like they're getting completely thrown away, right?
It's a little wasteful. I think that Thors are, if you can get to like that 6 to 8 number of them, are like really good in place of tanks in situations like this. So I understand that you got to free the supply. I mean, I guess it's better than just killing them yourself, right?
He is making 5 Thors at a time right now.
Yeah. Thors
and 5 Vikings.
The Big Mac daddies of StarCraft. There you go. He is getting transformation servos now. And +3 ship weapons.
And Reynor actually down to 57 drones and did not rebuild that base he just lost. So I feel like it does become about this army right here, and like you said, Thors, even if you kill them at this stage, they're going to kill the Broodlords. I don't see much of a replacement army for Reynor behind it.
Yeah, it's tough, because one of the things that you sometimes see a Zerg player try to do against this composition, once the tanks are mostly removed, is Neural Parasite.
Yeah.
But at that point, because there's so many Liberators, it's very hard to get those Infestors in a position where they can actually nab the Thors. And then the Thors, you got to make sure that they're shooting the right stuff because their AI's all wonky. Here we go, big fungals hitting all of the Vikings as the Liberation Zones go down on top of everything. Now those infested Terrans do a lot of damage versus air units, so the ground forces will retreat. And the Corruptors and Broodlords stand strong. But a lot of the Infestors, did he get them, or were they just barely
no, they're there.
The Liberation Zone? Okay.
They just used all their energy. I mean, it was
spread out the Lib zones a little bit better.
As good of a fight as it gets for Reynor, but he's not going to get the base behind that. And actually, Heromarine took another base, so it's he's up to 7 bases. Obviously, you know.
Yeah, that's, I really liked Heromarines position before this, but for what he just lost, I think he should have been able to get the Infestors, but it was one of those panicky reactions, it looked like, where he just sieged all the Liberators on one spot and made it very easy for Reynor to step forward and throw down all those infested Terrans.
That being said, though, now it's
He's going to have to deal with Parasitic Bomb now if he gets a bunch of Vikings, so I'm glad that we're still Thor heavy.
More Broodlords, though. I'm starting to like the army, and 3 Infestors about to join it, too. Reynor's having a tough time economically, but his army's starting to get to that kind of super stage.
Yeah, these Lings come over. Gonna be able to deal with the Hellions out on the map. How many Thors are we at? He's got 3 more that are about to pop. We're at 7 Thors at the moment. I like it. I mean, just get another, make sure you have Hellions. That's like the biggest thing, is getting Hellbats behind the Thors to clean up the Broodlings. because the Blue Flame Hellbats will one-shot the Broodlings, so it's very, very easy cleanup. And because they have +3 attack, the Hellbats will also one-shot Lings. So really, you need the Banelings to crack open that space so that the Broodlings and the Zerglings can attack the Thors. Without that, you're going to have a really hard time. Liberation zones are going to get thrown down. There's the Infested Terrans. We'll be able to get a few of these air units, but engagement looking good so far here at the start for Heromarine. And with the range on those Thors, the Broodlords are completely useless now.
Yeah, and they're really bunched up too. They're being shot. They're being shot. And this fight is maybe even going to go Reynor's way, but it's so costly for him. The Infestors are out of energy entirely. The Corruptor count's not super high. Might be able to get this base, but you can see in the supplies, he's down 60 supply. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the number of Broodlords that are still just kind of floating around over there. I'm like, you definitely have the opportunity to just kill all of those right now. Siege is the lives up front. There we go. The Infestors are going to walk into the Liberation zones in order to try and buy time, and that allows these Thors to get even more value. You do want to get the Hellions on there, though. Those Broodlords are able to kind of turn around and get a few volleys in. I'm very surprised at how long the Broodlords have actually lasted in this game, considering that Reynor is pretty much dead.
Everyone he loses, though, is a leg.
Yeah, there we go.
There's no bank behind this.
That's it. GG. Very well done by Heromarine. Extremely patient. I love that you pointed it out. He recognized that this army composition from Reynor was not built for a long game. It was built for, it was like playing against someone who knows what you're going to do and having to anticipate, like, okay, well, what do I do? If he knows that 60 Lings are going to destroy my, like, 4 Cyclone, 10 Hellion move out, where do I go from here? And then he still went Hellion Cyclone. Defensively, I also find a very interesting decision because he did not double down on the siege tanks too hard. He had like 1 or 2 per base, basically.
Yeah, it was just a very well-played game by Heromarine, though, because even defensively, I actually think that composition, which typically, if it has to fall back, is losing, but because he did a good job of like mixing in depots to kind of choke down space, he did have a couple of tanks, so if all the Banelings do get really bunched up, it's not like they're just free to kind of go find their targets. They'll get splashed down.
Yep.
He did what it took to, and he read the game and then changed his composition at the end there as well, right? Like, he's making 6 Vikings at a time and 5 Thors, so if you're Broodlords, and that's all you have, you don't have a huge bank behind that, and you can't switch to Ultras and Lings or something like that, then you're pretty dead, because that's going to get traded out.
Yeah, also, switching to Ultra doesn't work against the Thor army either. It's kind of the beauty of that composition once you hit it. We do have some updated scores for y'all to keep you up to date on everything that is happening in the wonderful world of StarCraft WCS. So Heromarine leading Reynor, and Showtime.
He was already out, so maybe at that stage he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But
A Laser and Seryltide won one, though.
Yeah.
Seryl drop another series here, maybe?
That would be incredible. He would go 4-3, I think.
Ouchie Wawa.
Even the fact that he lost 2 is already surprising, but 4-3 would be unheard of.
Yeah.
He lost 7 matches all of last year.
It's going to be weird to say this, but it's a disappointing result so far. Our expectations set that high?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of a developing story, to be honest with you, because WSG, loses there. Here, he's going to take 3rd or 4th, or probably 4th or 5th, actually, in the group. I mean, it's still Seryl, so it's like, it's funny, right? He's still in the top 8.
Yeah.
He still has a chance to just win the whole thing anyways. He did lose in the finals of WSG, so it's not like he's just getting bopped by random nobodies. It's just that he's not winning everything like he did in all of 2018.
Second place is not enough in this family in control.
That's right.
As we're loaded in, here. Can this man close it out? In the bottom right, he's our Red Terran player from Germany. Big Gabe himself. It's Heromarine.
And in the top left-hand side, already first in the group, looking to maybe end this European day with some nice games, it's Reynor. Little young Reynor.
If he loses this map, it will be his only series lost in the round-robin stage of WCS Winter.
Guy came up to you and said, "My name is Riccardo Romiti." Where would you guess he's from?
Honestly, I guess if he pronounced it like that, I would probably guess Italy.
My name's Ricardo Romiti.
Now the name, if I just had to read it off paper, I'd probably read it as like Ricardo or something like that. I'd be like,
jeez.
oh yeah, I don't know. You don't try to get into it with dialects, Jeff?
Romiti part? That's not super Italian to you? R-O-M-I-T-I?
Yeah,
it's like it sounds like a pasta.
That's pretty. Yeah.
It actually.
I feel like you could order that at a restaurant and someone would bring you something.
Yeah, in Thailand for sure.
Jeff.
I love Thai food.
I can't do the peanut flavored stuff there.
Really?
Which is weird because I'm a huge fan of peanuts and peanut butter.
I thought you were going to say you're a huge peanut, and I was like, well, I wasn't going to.
Well, I'm not. I'm a human, Jeff. I'm pretty sure my contract stipulates that if I was a nut, I would not be allowed to do this job.
Yeah.
Although if I was a nut, I think I'd probably be an almond, to be honest.
Think
with
so?
you. I think I'd be an almond.
More of an almond yourself?
Yeah, probably. So, Jeff, great question.
TV's just getting to that point again where we just don't talk about the beginning.
No. What does a ghost and Bruce Willis have in common?
I don't know. Oh, they both don't have parents, maybe?
No, they both die calling down the nuke.
Oh, jeez. Is that how Armageddon ends? Does he blows up the nuke?
Yeah, well, someone has to stay behind because you have to have the ghost call it down. You can't just do it remotely.
Meanwhile, his daughter, Liv Tyler, and Ben Affleck are making out in a field.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you live in the era of pagers, you know.
Yeah.
It's tough times.
Well, joking aside, guys, part of the reason why we haven't said too much about this opening is because it is a little bit of that song and dance of TVZ.
It's extremely standard, everything that we've seen so far, really.
Starport will probably swap with that tech lab, get a banshee or two out, maybe 3.
The Starport is where most of the decision-making for the Terran player comes out. And what I'm mostly interested to see here is whether he does the same thing as the last game, the odd thing, where he just gets like 2 tanks and a bunch of Marines. I mean, you know, that could also just be an anti-Nidus strategy as well, getting out that tank.
Yeah.
The siege tank itself, unsieged, does enough damage to punch through the armor of the Nidus worm. So it gives you a little bit more of that stability. And it looks like that's what we're going to see, yeah. So not wanting to get a fast stim. And because he went into bio out of this yesterday, and we just saw him do mech out of it, I think it's really cool, because the Overlord Scout doesn't tell you anything. You see that, you know that there's going to be cloaked banshees, but this doesn't really tell you if the follow-up is mech or bio. He's already shown both flavors of that style, and I think that's one of the biggest strengths of Terran in this meta, is that it's not even just, oh, he's going mech. It's like, oh, he's going battle mech, or he's going for like a battle cruiser rush or something ridiculous, because we do see all of that these days. There are still players that will go for, you know, tank Hellbat and try to make a big push with Vikings before you get up to tier 3 and whatnot. And it makes it tough. Kill the Overlord. He could be taking the rest of the gas in his base now too. Could be a 3rd command center somewhere.
And he does see that there's no lair.
That's the most important thing the Reaper can scout. So seeing a lair by this point, if you were to send the Reaper in and that lair's like done, then like all the alarm bells go off. Like, all right, make sure I've got depots covering every inch of my base. Careful for the Nidus. It's only going to be around for 1 more day.
Is it?
Yeah, 25th.
It's changed?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It still will be around though. That 2 armor.
Well, yeah.
I don't know that that changes it for anybody.
I mean, the number of units that will actually deal damage to it will greatly increase, though. Early on, at least. Zerglings will be able to kill it. Marines, Zealots. Workers will help a lot as well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Doing their what?
Well, right now, workers do half the damage. And when the worm has 3 armor, workers will do 2 damage. So that's a pretty significant increase.
250%. I just did the math.
Yeah. Thank you for crunching the numbers, Jeff.
It is going to be mech, by the way.
Nice.
Why not?
It worked very well last game. That last game was disgustingly good for him. Reynor.
Double Baneling Nest.
Double Baneling Nest. What does it mean? There's only 1 upgrade you can get.
Sorry. You kill 1, you're like, well, now I'll come out with the unupgraded Marines because you can't make Banelings, and then you get surprised because there's still Banelings. Here's that attack you love, by the way.
All right.
this will get
But with the Hellbats this time, I like it.
shot down hard.
You know, there's some irony to the Hellbat tank push with all these Marines and having 2 Baneling nests not ready in time.
Don't need the Banelings when you got Lings behind, my man.
Yeah, that should be able to deal with the tanks. Still a lot of pressure put on here. Cleans up every single Zergling. A bunch more are going to be made.
Hang
And
on.
the Banshee
That's 3
attack
Banshees.
here too. Really nice.
Hang on, that's 3 Banshees, my man. The 3 Banshee meta has begun. Oh, and he pulls it back. Tell me it's got 1 health.
God, 300 IQ. Banshee micro.
Pull back the other one.
We tried.
Back to
The
heaven.
Hellion rally too. Another huge strength of this composition type. There's so much here, and Heromarine is really getting some catastrophic damage
Do you think
done.
Gabriel's just sick and tired of these Zergs winning? He's just like, get out of my European
They
meta.
told me that the Terrans couldn't win, so I had to come bring hope.
Look at this Reynor kid. You think you're the Wunderchild? I was the Wunderchild before there were children.
I had some Meisterschaft before you were born.
This is jeez Louise. How have not more drones died though? They keep attacking Hellbats, and I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Well, you know, I didn't think I was gonna have barbecue on my Sunday, but Jeff, it's smelling awfully nice out here.
By the way, I mean, he's not going to, but Reynor, get out. Like, there's 0 difference, right?
You're the guy in the chat now?
Well, he's just like putting on a show for the fans. That's cool.
Yeah.
You can just get out though.
Yeah, there's an oof. There's a big oof in here somewhere.
Think about how happy he'd make Heromarine. These replays will get analyzed in this next coming week of streaming, and it's gonna be incredible.
Oh yeah, don't forget to tune into Heromarines Twitch. It's gonna be
The muzzle will break them down.
It's gonna be
Thermal
big.
will have a segment on Team Liquid up
And
by Monday.
I really like the part where the drones are all bunched up between the evolution chamber and the hatchery.
I
Look
know.
at the cone of fire from that Hellbat.
The best part about Terran players is they super cheer against each other. So like that analysis from Demozen would be like, Reynor played, I would say, if I had to put a number to it, 700% below his normal skill level.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 7,000 MMR player, but he's playing like a 6,000 MMR
Not
player.
even, Nathanius. It's more like a 4,200, all right? So a lot of Zergs would know to get the surround with the drones at least, not just attack move them.
And if I was doing my Zerg off race, I would have mineral walked through the Hellbat to push it out of the choke point.
Yeah, Heromarines in a super good spot right now. He's freely taking his 3rd. Last game he had to basically take the fetal position and just wait for the ambush of Reynor. It never came. This game he's the aggressor.
Yeah.
He's he who knocks. You want more barbecue?
Oh my god, the drones. Oh wow, okay. He's like 1 or 2 more shots away.
Spread everything.
Yeah.
Spread everything. Just spread it.
first.
Let the Banelings go ahead and slam into you. Who cares?
Yep. Great spread on the Hellbats. Hold position in this situation is great. Cyclones manually lock on. The Bane flank is there, so he's kind of waiting for an opportunity, but it's like, no, it's not coming in that way. Everything is still spread decently, and it's not, it's hard for him to trade poorly in this situation with the amount that he has. There's the next wave.
I'm going to put my pants back
Should
on.
be
Jeez.
all she wrote. Heromarine. Big Gabe takes the 2-0.
I wish we had the production abilities to show that picture, by the way, because it's so funny, but
Yeah. I wonder, I don't know.
future
That's,
WCSs will try to push for
may be too jarring for our audience to bear witness to, Jeffrey.
that. I think they could take it.
Gabriel's true form.
Yeah. Well, hey, congrats. 2-0 over Reynor. Like I said, though, the kind of funny thing here, Reynor still absolutely first place. Just 6-1 does not sound as cool as 7-0. It is cool that Heromarine has 2-0'd Serral and now 2-0'd Reynor as well, which I guess begs the question, do Zergs need a buff? I mean, is it time?
Probably.
If Serral and Reynor can't beat Heromarine?
Give Zerglings the campaign thing to go up and down cliffs. There you
I've
go.
crunched some other numbers, Nate, by the way, too. Heromarine beats Serral and Reynor 2-0. Lambo beats Heromarine, I believe it was either 2-0, but maybe 2-1. Does that make Lambo the best Zerg in Europe now?
Yes.
Okay.